Just 2 days to go until I'm a Celebrity returns, and they're swapping New South Wales for North Wales. And instead of the jungle, it is a castle.
So that's a ghostly noise. Do you think they're going to mega mix that with the I'm a Celebrity theme tune?
There's a ghost from the castle flapping about.
It's the ghost of the Countess of Dundonald. She's believed to haunt the grounds.
She sounds Scottish.
She does, doesn't she? And yet it's Welsh. We're going to explore this because instead of just worrying about creepy crawlies, the inmates this time are going to have to deal with paranormal activity, apparently, because that is the rumour that the castle is haunted. Well, it's haunted by Richard Arnold this morning. He's perched some distance away because, of course, we can't get in there this morning. But I know you've had a little look around, haven't you, Richard? You've been exploring it all.
The team has certainly had a snoop. Kate, did you just use the word mega mix? I fear that might date us all.
I've heard of Baccarat this morning.
This is why we love you.
Is Jive Bunny coming back?
Absolutely. You've got a feel for the Countess Dundonald, though, haven't you? If indeed she is haunting Grit Castle just over my shoulder here, because she's going to have to put up with Shane Ritchie's gags for the next 3 weeks with the best will in the world. She's never going to rest in peace. I did catch up, though, with one Dr. Mark Baker, who's the chairperson of Grit Castle, and this is what he had to say about the ghost of Grit Castle.
I have seen a couple of strange things. I remember being on the marble staircase and I was with some other people and we kind of turned around and we saw this like ball of light. It was quite strange. And people kind of smell things like violet perfume, which was her favourite scent.
So we're grateful, at least, for the ball of light that's hovering above us now, because earlier in the show, as Charlotte pointed out, I could have been anywhere because, of course, the castle was shrouded in darkness. But what a spectacular property it is. And we're poised above a golf course here, which I'm sure is probably a clause in Ant and Dec's contract, because they do like a putt or two. But all the eyeballs will be on the castle and the conditions, of course, the campmates will be living in over the next 3 weeks. And it's going to be absolutely brutal. Medieval, torture, and then some. All eyes will be on the boiler room, which is where much of the action will take place. Gruelling chores, stoking the coals, cutting logs that they'll be foraging for in the local forest. All, of course, to keep them warm. The living quarters themselves will be covered, at least, because the weather, as Laura has pointed out, over the next week or so, at least, is going to be far from clement and very wet and very damp. As you know, Kate, you have to keep as dry as possible when you're away from your creature comforts. And when it comes to going to bed, well, their hammocks and rusty beds will be the only comfort that they will have. All eyes, of course, as well, once they've risen. And, of course, without putting it too indelicately, the first movement of the day, the eyes and every other sense will be drawn to the dunny, as it was down under, but now it's called the privy, and what a long drop it is. Kate, I can't imagine that you would want to go back, even though I know you had the best of times and made the best of friends when you took part last year. But I have to say, this year is going to be absolutely spectacular.
I think it's going to be a brilliant watch. And as you mentioned getting wet, as two of my former campmates who are joining us now will know, when those socks and those boots get wet, they do not dry. Ratsy singer Myles Stephenson is in Watford and Capital FM breakfast presenter Roman Kemp. On the subject of socks, Roman, I've still got your socks at my house because he came
What?
Yeah, he came over to help celebrate Billy's birthday. They had a big water fight and a Nerf gun
And he
fight.
took his clothes off.
And I washed his socks for him afterwards, and I must bring them back to you.
Well, the thing is, I actually need them back because basically I've got like 2 more days until I stop being relevant before the new cast take over. And I heard that they're looking at getting previous campmates into this year's show. So I am prepared. I am prepared, and I'm ready. Producers, if you're watching, can go in.
Roman, let it go, Roman.
Yeah.
No.
You don't have to wear the outfit all the time.
On behalf of someone who experienced this firsthand for a number of years before it happened, Roman, you really need to let it go. You really...
I'm ready to go in.
He's ready.
Myles, how do you feel? Because we talk about this quite a lot with our colleagues that have been in Strictly, and obviously Kate and I have been chatting a lot about this year's I'm a Celebrity. How do you feel about this new crop of celebrities going in? Are you a little bit jealous that they're going to go and experience it? Obviously, it's going to be very different, but that they're going to go and have this adventure?
Yeah, definitely. I've got my boots on, ready to go hiking over to Wales. So, yeah, I'm pretty jealous, to be honest. But I think it's going to be a brilliant watch. I think because it's not in Australia no more, obviously this year, I think the trials are going to be 10 times harder. Everything's going to be amplified. So, I think I'm definitely jealous. Would I want to go back in? Not necessarily, but I mean, I'd only want to go back in just because it is kind of in Wales for the first time ever. So, yeah, exciting times.
It will make a difference, won't it, being in Wales? I still wear the boots, by the way, Myles. They're really comfy because we've really broken them in. I love them. I love them. What do you think about it being in Wales? Would you have gone if you'd heard it was going to be in Wales?
I'm not too sure. It's cold. It's cold in Wales.
Yeah.
It's nothing like a great trip to Australia, but you know, like I said, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think, especially for it being in Wales. Unless they decide to do it again next year, who knows? But Wales, because it's so different, they're going to have to make everything 10 times harder. Everything's going to be.
The thing is, Myles, as well, is you were very, I understand from people who are watching back home, Roman and I, we turned away at this point, but you were very present in the shower scene on last year's.
You did not turn away. Kate, you did not turn away. Please, the word obscene was used several times.
Roman, for goodness sake, some things didn't make it into the edit. Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it there. Yeah. So you were very featured. What are they going to do about that this series, Roman? Because they're not going to be showering outside in that way, are they?
I know. Kate, I think you were the biggest heartthrob from the shower scenes,
rubbish.
from what I understand. But yeah, look, I mean, it's gonna be horrible. It's always horrible. I think that the reality is, and I hope that people, when they watch it this year, there isn't something, there isn't a producer behind the camera. There is literally no one else there. You're on your own. And for it to be cold and dark, it will make it miserable, which will be great viewing for us.
Yeah,
but it will be very tough. I've said it before. I actually think, Kate, looking back on the time that we had, we will have actually had it quite easy in comparison to this lot, because there were days when, you're not doing anything, where you may be a little bit bored, and the sunshine gets you through it.
Yeah.
And this time
and
around,
you can have a laugh in the sunshine, can't you? You can sit around and chat and have a laugh. So,
and Roman,
yeah, you're right.
do you know any of the cast that are going in? Has anybody phoned you to say, what would be your advice? They're tapping me up for I'm a Celebrity. What's your thought? Has anyone spoken to you?
do you know what? No one. No one cares about me anymore, Ben. Like I said, I was in it last year. I'm not in it this year. But no, I haven't. But to be honest, the advice that I would give to all of them is just enjoy it. And it is that thing of being there every moment. There's a lot of time where people are spent worrying, am I going home tomorrow? Is this going to be my last day? And if it, sometimes you just got to sit and realise you're literally on the best show on TV. Yeah. And, the heritage of this show is incredible. It's 20 years. And, to have Sir Mo Farah in there, it would be nice to see him as a character. Shane Ritchie, I'm sure, will provide a lot of entertainment. He'll be doing, I'm sure, like a whole routine by the end of it to the rest of the camp.
Did your old man get tapped up, though? Because I know that he sat there, and your uncle as well, and they said that they quite fancy going in after they'd seen you in there. Did he get asked?
Martin Kemp 2021 is what I'm going for. I want to see that. No, genuinely, I do want to see it. I think, to be honest, I don't know. You'd have to ask my dad, but I would love to see him in it. It's his 60th next year. Oh. And for his 60th birthday, for him to be literally miserable in a jungle, that would be great, please.
Said like only a son can. Myles, quickly, before we lose you, any thoughts on who might come out on top? Who might be king or queen of the jungle?
Oh, I have two people that I think potentially can win it. Either Shane Ritchie or Jessica Plummer.
OK, yeah, Jessica could do very well. I think it's going to be fascinating. Guys, Roman, we appreciate you interrupting your breakfast show as well, because we know you're busy on the radio.
It's all right, I'm just playing out the travel, it's OK.
I love the fact you've still got your headband and your T-shirt. And Myles,
vote for me, there's still time.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Great to see you both this morning, and I know that we're going to be gripped, aren't we? Come
Oh, I
Sunday?
haven't seen them. So, in fact, I saw Roman briefly this week. I went on his show. I was mixing with the young kids.
We could have taken his socks.
I could have. I should have
I
thought
know what
of
else
it.
he took off for her.
Ah, dear, oh dear. I'd love to see Myles as well.